Hello and welcome, and today I'm going to be showing you the world record for Sweet Tooth. So I got a 31 last time. That's the last time you've seen, I believe. And then out of nowhere, a person called Kempington comes and, in his own words, obliterates me. He obliterated world record, which I must say, I'm a slightly competitive person. Not overly so, but I am. Especially when someone says the word obliterated one of my scores, when all I really did was beat Monkeyfish, and that's all that really matters. Well, that's all that mattered at the time. So what happened was, he gets a 28. He was the first person to break the sub 30, and that pisses me off. He's actually a really nice guy. I'll leave his stuff below. And when it comes to a few later holes, I'll talk about some stuff which he found out and is really, really helpful. But he beat me. He said he obliterated me, and it hurt oh so much. So I came home. I watched his stream. I chatted to him for a bit. He told me about something called the air. Well, it's not called something, but it's basically this game changes depending on the amount of FPS you have. So if you've got a lower FPS, so say 10 FPS, you're going to go much further, especially when it comes to boosts. I think boost is really the key here. You're going to go much further than if you had, say, 200 FPS. So on some holes, mainly hole 14, which we'll come to in a bit, well, in about 10 minutes, it affects it a lot. And so hole 14, hole 15, those are the two keys, which I didn't know beforehand. So it's a really big find, and he's done it basically changes the game for getting records and stuff. And I think it will really help on Kingdom, because obviously Kingdom 16 is the only thing that's stopping that from being a perfect 28, I think that is. And so it's a big change, and so there's a chance it could make that shot consistent. If that shot becomes consistent, that is like the biggest game changer. So I still need to try it. I've just not got around to it because you got to play the whole 16 holes first, and then you change it. But I mean, it doesn't. There, you don't use the boost. However, it could still change something, because obviously that shot was stupidly inconsistent, but it could make it consistent, and that's a huge change. But yeah, so anyway, so he beat me 28, obliterated. Spoke to him about the FPS, and then exactly 58 minutes later, I had the world record of 27, and I was so happy. I had to relearn all the strats. That includes me relearning the strats. And then I got 27. And then I was going to upload that, but it wasn't great. Like, there's potential for a hole-in-one on hole 15, which means that it's like, this is 26, although it's amazing, is either +3. What is this? It's a +2 or +3. I can't. Math is hard. Yeah, +2 or +3, which is amazing. Like, that's huge. So there's a lot of potential, and so it's really interesting. And it's a sort of exciting time for the game. I hate hole 15, honestly. Hole 5, I hate it so much. So inconsistent. And so I changed that to 120 FPS, and it started getting a bit more consistent, but it's still not overly consistent. The first shot, second shot's easy, but the first shot just I think I need a different strat, but I don't know if there's any strats that could be available. But yeah, so anyway, I got to 27, and I didn't play for a while, and then I went, do you know what? 27 is not good enough. With this hole 14, he got a hole in one on hole 14, and then I found a strat consistent, like a really consistent hole in one strat for 14. Like it's the last video on my channel. Works every time. It's probably the most consistent strat in the game. No, it's not. There's one where you literally aim straight forward, but it's like it's revolutionized this run. So like 27 just wasn't a good score, and 26 is an alright score. The only problem is hole 12, which is like not fully luck based, but it's pretty much luck based. I was wondering. I'm still wondering if it's world time based or if it's so like if as soon as you load into the course, does hole 15 the wheels start moving already, or which I imagine it is, or does the world like reload when you load into a certain hole? So like at the start of this hole, does it reload? I don't think it does. I think it's all world based. And the reason I say that is because then you could set like a macro that you say press. You do it like immediately, and it'll just release it, and it'll get it every time. Because it's honestly so inconsistent at the moment to get the hole in one. It's definitely out of the straightforward hole in one methods, it's definitely the most inconsistent hole in one. What I mean by that is like hole 16, hole in 2 is like ridiculous. Like, whereas this one, like you can see what you have to do. So it'll be interesting. There's a lot of work I need to do, but I've moved on from this course. I got fed up. I tried to go on to Garden to get the world record there, and I'm so bad at this game. I've had like world record runs on Garden every time, and I just kept failing it. So I'm going to come back to it at a later date and try and get that world record, because it feels like an open world record. In fact, there's a really potential strat for a hole in one, like a consistent hole in one where you don't have to use time based. However, again, I only got that once, so maybe not. But there's definitely a lot of potential there to get that consistent, which would be huge. Like if we can get hole 17 consistent in one without time based, that's a big deal. But yeah, so whilst I've been talking a lot, that was the perfect first 9. I don't think you can do it any better. Hole 3 used to be a 1, I think, but then they sort of took it away. If you're an OG of the Tower Unite, then you would know what they just extended that initial bit in front that sticks out, and it sort of just ruined the hole. So we don't know. Where was I? I don't know. Well, actually, hole 11 FPS thing made this so much more sense, because whenever I used to play in the past, I used to always play unlimited FPS, but I'm recording in quite high quality at the moment, just so the video looks decent, and it's a bit easy to be precise. And it made so much sense why my old strats didn't work, because the FPS just changed the timing. So when I went down to 60 FPS, it no longer worked. And so now I have the 60 FPS, but if you try that shot on unlimited FPS, it just won't work. That's how stupid this FPS game running is, and it just annoys me. It's fascinating, but it's annoying. And then here comes the demon hole. Demons are pretty cool, so maybe hole 12's not the demon. Hole 12 can be the pile of poo. God, I just say fucking shit all the time. I never get demonetized. Pile of shit hole. This hole is so shit. Like, honestly, I fucking hate it. Oh, I don't. What do I do? When do I release? Do I release too early or too late? Let's see. I can't remember. This video has been sat on my thing for ages. Okay. So you want to release just as the shadow just disappears. Oh, I think I was too late. Yeah, I was too late, and so I go down. Literally the worst bit. Literally the worst bit. If I'm if I'm further to the right, I go in there and potentially get a 25. If I get this hole in one, I get a 24. Ugh, just painful. However, I got this shot down consistent. I'm really good at this bit now. I know the power. From about here, you do sort of mid S. A bit further back, you do like right inside S, T. And as you can see, you go up and over. Obviously, you still need to have a decent aim. And basically, the less your angle is, so like the more acute your angle is, the more power you want to do. But that was so annoying, honestly. I was perfect up until hole 12, and then I got a 3. Put it this way, 3 is like double. You're twice as likely to get a 3, like the 3 method there, as you are to get a hole in one, pretty much. And then you are like, I mean, you're not really. If you release competently, you will get a 2 or a 1 every time, pretty much. So 3 is like the least common option there, but I'm just so bad. I was so pissed off. Honestly, at this, I'm still pissed off. If I just gotten a 2, this is like I wanted a 25. 25 was my go-to. Hole 12 miss, gets a 2. That was my go-to. Hole 15, get a 2 as well. And that would have been happy. But I was so pissed. I'm still annoyed. That's how much hole 12 pisses me off. And hole 12 is the reason why I don't play this. I don't want to grind this out. The only reason why I grinded Sweet Tooth out recently was because I was going for the hole 15 in 1, which is really cool. So what you'll see now is I'll go down to 24 FPS, sorry. 30 FPS is more consistent in a sense that whole like 24 FPS can get you some crazy results. I'm talking about hole 15. Hole 14. Straightforward. Cursor just overlapping the power, and then 4 places right, release, and just So I actually saw this because that's similar, not exact. That's similar to how that bounce anyway is similar to how Kempington got a hole in one, but his was a bit more like amazing because he obviously just sort of went, holy shit, that's cool. Whereas this was, I practiced and I researched a bit to get that. And then we're on to hole 15. Hole 15, potential one in the future. And this is why I need retry from start. Because I want to try this. I want to get this. If anyone knows how to hack the game and so I can restart every time with 0 shots and in unlimited time. But anyway, as you can see, that's where I landed. Which is literally, if I was a tiny bit more power, or if I just went a bit further, I think that's a hole in one. Like, I think that would be a hole in one. That right there just shows I'm like millimeters, well, maybe not millimeters, but I'm a bull width away from getting a hole in one on that hole. And that's not even the only method. There's another place you can aim. So it's like almost certainly this is going to be a hole in one. But then again, who knows? Like, I could have I could have done the best. That could have been the best shot ever that you could see. I think if there was a way for me to limit my FPS even more, like if I could get like 20 FPS somehow, you can't. Like I get like 23, 24, 23, 24. If I could limit it, like if I could somehow limit it, then I think you could. Fucking dog. I think you could get that in a 1 consistently. I just, at the moment, it's hard and I just don't know. Right about now, my heart was breaking. Like I was like, fucking, yes, let's go. I'm gonna get the 26. I'm gonna be so happy. But I knew that hole 18 could be, because obviously in my 31 hole 18, gave me a glitch, so I didn't get a 30, which would have been cool. But this just, like, I was so tense. I was like, please, just hole 17 stupidly consistent. There's no need to worry about that. Hole 18, please don't glitch. Please. And so I was just sat there going, please just... And I was praying. I'm not a religious man, but I was praying to the golf gods. And they gave it to me. I was like... I think they had felt my suffering and they allowed it. But honestly, it's not the best one I'll ever do. But I'm really happy with it. Got a weird bounce there as well, which was weird. But I'm really happy with it. Like, it will be beaten eventually by Campington, by me, by someone else watching this video maybe. Please do. It'd be cool. Fucking dog. But I don't know. Hey, come here. Why don't you come and say hello? Why don't you bark to the mic? I don't know. There's probably a fox outside or something. But yeah, so 26, not a bad run. I will beat it eventually. As I said, I'm going to try and go through all the maps first. So I'm currently working on altitude. Once I've done altitude, I'll focus on the other few. And I'm just aiming for top 2, really. Top 2. Or just altitude maybe will be like top 5. But basically just, I want to get a decent score on every map. And I mean, this is the world record. And that's really what I want to be going for. Fucking altitude's like 37, which I still don't know how he's done. But yeah, so there you go. Kempton, good job. I'll leave his links below. Monkeyfish, your shit. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.